quick notes before I get into the guide in case you want to skip the rest of the video. This guide assumes 1. You are a level 100 crafter. 2. Your job quests are complete and all actions unlocked. 3. You have Everseeker gear equipped. And 4. Your gear is pentamelded or close to it. If any of these are not the case, you will probably not be able to replicate what I do in this video or get the same results from my macros. However, you may still find this guide helpful as a conceptual approach to consolidating a variety of crafts into a minimum number of macros. And if it's not helpful for even that, hopefully it is at the very least entertaining and interesting to watch. Let's begin. Cosmic Exploration has been out for a week now, and for the better part of that week, I've been working on grinding the new cosmic tools and figuring out the most efficient way to do the missions. And a large part of that, of course, involves using macros. Macros make it much more efficient to not have to sit there constantly clicking actions. But also, once you get into the higher rank missions, you're going to be dealing with missions that have a very, very tight window for the amount of actions you can do to successfully ensure that you reach gold on those missions. And macros will make that much more consistent. Now, macro solvers exist. They're very useful. They're very powerful. But there are a lot of missions. If we look at the list of missions here, this looks like, 6 Class D missions, 7 Class C missions, 8 Class B missions, and then a whole bunch of A's, like 10 Class A missions or so. You could just go ahead and create a macro for every single one of the durability, progress, and quality requirements for each of these missions, but also understand that some of these missions have multiple steps of crafting. You have to craft the materials first and then craft the actual final component that qualifies for completing the mission. So you would wind up with like a whole bunch, 20, 30, 40 macros potentially, if you just went ahead and used a solver to say like, okay, please solve this mission, please solve this mission. So I was very interested in how to consolidate all of these into something that's much more efficient to work with. So I went through and I looked at all of the different requirements, and thankfully there's many duplicates. And not only are there duplicate crafting requirements for these missions, but there's also ways to create fewer number of macros that solve more missions at the same time. And that's what I want to show you here in this video. These are the core 7 macros that you're going to use to solve everything that's Class D, C, or B mission. Once you get to Class A missions, those require specific sets of macros for those individual types of missions, and there's more strict requirements on those. So we'll look at those later. But initially, as you're leveling your tools up and you're unlocking the different progression through the missions and the first couple tiers of the tools, these are the only different macros that you're going to need. And this really simplifies it. Now, some of these are, like all of these are single-click macros, of course, up to 15 steps. But some of the missions, they're designed to leave you just shy of maybe 1 progress hit. So maybe you hit groundwork, or maybe you hit careful synthesis, because macros can only be 15 actions, and sometimes you need like a 16 actions in order to complete the mission. We'll open up my macro menu here, and I've put into a block here on the left-hand side. These numbers here, 20, 46, these aren't actually macros. These are just to help remind me of what the durability requirements are for these Class A missions. So all the Class A missions are consolidated into these 7 types of macros. A step 1 and a step 2 macro for each of these. These can be used to solve all of the Class A missions. And then all of the Class B, C, and D missions can be done with, of course, these 7 macros down here. Now, these are broken into 2 categories. We've got ones that focus on progress, right? So this would be a 25 durability macro that does 9,500 progress and then 1,200 quality. And this macro is for 60 durability crafts that have 12,000 progress and 600 quality. And then inversely, with the quality focused crafts, we've got different ones for certain amounts of progress and quality, and in ascending amounts of quality here. So first it's 7,600 quality, 9,000 quality, 11,200 quality, and then 13,000 quality. This one here is a 40 durability, 4,500 progress, and 7,000 quality macro. I've colored this one as a hammer because this macro will do a significant number of any type of crafts in Class D, C, or B missions. You will regularly come across missions that this one macro here will solve the crafting requirements for. So I've labeled it as a hammer because it turns, every mission into a nail, because you've got a hammer and you just hit that hammer on the nail. So now I'll go ahead and show you each one of these macros. I'll have a link in the description where if you prefer to copy and paste these macros, you can copy and paste them from like a PASTEBIN or something. I'll figure that out when I get there. But for now, I'll show you what they are, so if you want to copy them off the screen or you have one that you want to modify to make it similar to this, you can go ahead and do that. So these are the two progress-focused macros, Macro 1 and Macro 2 for 12,000 progress. This here is our common hammer macro that we'll use for a great number of different crafts. This here is our first quality macro, our second quality macro, our third quality macro, and our fourth quality macro. Now what I like to do is show you how to use these macros to gold star every single one of your missions. And to do that, we're actually going to walk through my final job that I have not leveled up the tool for yet, which is Culinarian. So we'll go ahead and switch over to Culinarian, and we will take this job over the course of this video from the beginning all the way to the end, and on the way, we're going to gold star every single one of these missions in our mission log. But first things first, we're going to drag our user macros, so it'll be a useful menu to have constantly opened. We're going to clean up our hotbar here a little bit. We're going to make some room for our standard macros. Just drag all 7 of these down. Now we're ready to do everything from mission classes D, C, and B. Now the great thing about these macros is that you do not need food or potions for these missions. You also do not need to be a specialist. I currently have a specialist soul crystal for Culinarian, for crafting raid food and such, but I did this for other jobs that did not have a soul crystal. One thing to keep in mind is that these crafts, these macros, all of this assumes that you have level 100 Everseeker pentamelded gear. So go ahead and show some of these here. I honestly just pentameld based on whatever Teamcraft says. Maybe there's slight variations depending on the materia that I had available at the time. But generally, this assumes that you are a max level crafter, you've got all the sats that you need, you just want to figure out what's the most efficient way for me to get these missions done and get my tools to maximum. Alright, so let's get started with these missions. We'll go ahead and just pick any of the ones I haven't done yet, right? Initiate, synthesize, and now we'll check out, we've got an 80 durability craft. It has 12,000 progress about, and 6,000 quality. Well, we're going to go, this is obviously a progress-focused craft, so we're going to look at our progress-focused macros down here, and look at that. We have a 12,000 and a 600 quality. That seems like the right one for the job. And one of the important things to note about these is that when possible, I have done these macros to use less durability than you would typically need for the missions that you're using these macros on. So that results in a situation where you always have the option for a few extra hits, and if you have max level gear, you always have a little bit of extra CP left over. That way, if anything goes wrong during the craft or you have suboptimal melds, you can make that difference up. There's designed to be a bit of a safety net in there. So we're going to go ahead and click the right macro for the right job, let it run its course. And there we have it, a high quality craft. We'll do that 2 more times. And gold star complete. There we go, easy as that. And that's what you're gonna do pretty much for the majority of all of these low tier missions. We actually have a red alert coming up here soon, which is great. Always love those. Get a crap ton of these in our credits. But we have time for one more craft, so go ahead and initiate this. Let's see what the requirements for this are. We've got a 60 durability craft with 4,400 progress and a little over 6,000 quality. Now this, when you see those numbers, about 4,000 and about 6,000, that's our hammer macro. This covers you'll see a large number of missions will have various similarities to this. Sometimes it'll be down closer to 4,000, sometimes it'll be closer to like 6,500 quality, but our hammer macro solves every single one of these. And our hammer macro also only takes 40 durability, because oftentimes you will get missions with about this much progress and quality, but that only have 40 durability. So even though this one is easier with 60 durability, this craft is, this macro is designed to handle whether it has only 40 durability. We got a little screwed over here by a excellent proc giving us a poor quality condition when we were doing our quality crafting, but 89%. That's the great thing about this macro, is that it finishes it off with a few delicate syntheses, so even if we don't quite make it to 100%, it always gives a little bit of leeway to finish that off. Alright. Another gold mission complete. Now, we'll go ahead and go do the red alert, and we'll show you that we can use our hammer macro for the red alert as well. Alright, as you can see here, red alert missions are always the same difficulty. I don't know if that'll change in the future with further expansions to this content, but we can go ahead and just use our hammer macro because it's about 4,000 and about 6,000. 40 durability. Looks like hammer macro solves that problem for us. Alright, that is a red alert mission complete. You will just go ahead and repeat that for as long as you have on the red alert timer. Alright, that completes the red alert. So we're going to go ahead and get back to our culinary and crafting here. Next mission, building adhesive. We got 80 durability, 4,000, 7,000. Sounds like we're going to go ahead and use the hammer macro again. Alright, gold star complete. Looks like we can grab our first tool upgrade. There we go. These requirements are 40 durability, 4,000, 6,000. Hammer again. And another gold star. Next mission. 60 durability, 4,000, 6,000. Hammer again. Craft complete. Turn in that gold star. And we have our next mission, or next tool upgrade already. In large part, we were able to skip a whole bunch of tier 2 cosmic research thanks to the red alert event. That's why that went so fast. Alright, are we done with Class D missions? No, we have one more that'll show up, but let's do a couple Class Bs in the meantime while we wait for that one to appear. Alright, two-step crafting. We're going to need 3 ingredients first, so... What do you know? 40 durability, 4,000, 6,000. We're going to do our hammer 3 times to make the ingredients for this craft. Alright, now that we have our ingredients here, ready to eat grilled steaks, we'll do the combined craft. See what the requirements for this are. They want, it's a 60 durability craft. It needs only 900 progress, but it needs over 10,000, a little over 10,000 quality. So it's definitely going to be a quality focused craft. We want to find one that's 60 durability. Look at this one here, 55 durability. It does 3,000 progress and 11,000 quality. So let's go ahead and do this one here. It seems to fit perfectly. If we did number 4 quality here, since it only uses 40 durability, we would probably be just shy of the 900 progress that we need, so we could do 1 extra careful synthesis, or even just a basic synthesis if we had to on this. But given that there's 13,000 quality and we really don't need that much quality, it actually means that we're going to be spending a long time on this craft doing quality actions that are unnecessary. So here, as you can see, finished it an action early there, so not a big deal. Gold star complete. Alright, we haven't seen our Class D mission last one show up, so we're going to do another one of these. Another 2-step. We need 2 ingredients. 4,000, 6,000, 40 durability, hammer it. Alright, now that we have our ingredients, we'll see what the combined craft requires. It needs 8,000 durability, 5,000 progress, and 7,500 quality. So, if we look at these, we've got one that fits here perfectly. Quality number 1, 5,000 progress, 7,600 quality, and it only takes 55 durability. We've got plenty of durability for this one. Because the quality requirement for this craft requires 7,500 quality, our hammer here would be just shy of being able to complete the craft in terms of both quality and progress. Now, that's not a big deal. We have extra durability left over because we'd only be using 40 to craft this. So we could go ahead and smash delicate synthesis a couple of times, but why push many button when few button do same job? There we go, gold star rating complete. Another multi-craft. We're going to craft 2 ingredients and then 2 final products. The ingredient is a 4,000, 6,000. Hammer it. Ingredients are complete. Now we'll see what the secondary craft requires. 80 durability, 4,600 progress, and looking about 7,000, a little over 7,000. So again, we have a similar situation where if we just hammered this, we'd wind up a few actions short and we'd have to finish it off with delicate synthesis. So we'd rather just do 1 craft if possible. 7,000. This one would work, but it would require us to hit progress a couple times to finish it up. So why don't we just go ahead and do this one? It'll handle all of that quality for us. A little excessive on quality, but no big deal. And then the durability, or the progress, will go ahead and be probably 1 action short. And there we go. As we can see, a 15 action macro is just shy of getting the progress that we would need. There's other reasons why you'd want this to end at 55 durability, but since this craft has extra durability, we're going to go ahead and press groundwork once while we have the veneration buff. Bam, finish it off. So if it was possible to do a 16 action macro, then we could just add an extra groundwork to the end of this and it would solve this on its own. But in this particular case, we want this macro this way for other reasons. So for this craft, we just push it 1 extra button, solves the problem. All right, and again, 1 last action to finish off the craft. Bam, another gold star. 2 craft steps here. First step, make 2 ingredients. Ingredients can be done with the hammer. All right, we have our ingredients complete. Let's go ahead and see what the combined craft requires. Here's a 25 durability, 8,000 progress, and about 1,200 quality. So this is definitely a progress-focused craft, so we're going to look over here on our progress macros. Look at that, we got one that's 25 durability, 9,500 progress, and 1,200 quality. Gold star rating complete. There, our final Class D mission finally showed up. Let's go ahead and get that one knocked out. Look at that, another hammer macro. I think you can probably use the hammer macro for every single, all but one of those Class D missions. And that finishes off all the Class D missions. We're looking for 3 more Class C. We'll go ahead and turn in our next tool step. I don't have, my Class C mission is not showing up, a new one's not showing up in here, so let's go ahead and do some Class B missions. 2-step craft, we need 2 ingredients. Ingredients are 25 durability, 9,500 progress, 1,200 quality. We're going to do progress-focused craft. Progress 1 should be sufficient. Ingredients are complete. Check out the requirements for the combined craft. 80 durability, 13,000 progress, and a little bit of quality. So definitely progress-focused craft. We have one that does 12,000 with a little bit of quality. This looks like it'll be just shy of the progress we need, but that's fine because it'll only take 60 durability to produce this macro, and we've got extra durability left over to clean it up with. All right, so the craft finishes, and we are just shy on both quality and progress, but we have 20 durability to work with, which is totally fine. For these crafts, I just add a veneration, an innovation, and I hit delicate synthesis twice. And it's complete. Gold star. All right, our Class C missions are back. Let's go ahead and round out these 2. Hopefully that one doesn't disappear while we do this one. This one is 4,600 progress, 7,000 quality, just above what our hammer is capable of doing. So we're going to go ahead and let's see here. We've got 55 durability, 5,100 progress, 7,600 quality. This one should be just fine for doing this. All right, another gold star complete. No, our Class C mission disappeared from the list. All right, back to Class B. This one has only 45 durability, 3,500 progress, and 3,900 quality. So I wouldn't want to use 55 durability. This one does 9,000 and 2,500. Seems like a pretty safe bet. There we go, and as predicted, we're just shy on quality and a little bit of progress. But if we go ahead and smash Delicate Synthesis at least once, maybe twice, bam, craft is complete. Now it might seem annoying the fact that we have to go ahead and manually finish out some of these macros by hand a little bit occasionally, especially when it gets to the B tier crafts. But there's a reason that these crafts are set up like this. Sometimes these are very specific breakpoints that are minimum required for certain types of crafts. Like there is a craft that exists that is only 20 durability and requires these progress and quality stats. So by forming this macro to cover that case, we can also cover the majority of the work on easier crafts like this. We'll finish this one off. Another gold star mission complete. And now our last Class C mission has showed up. Let's go ahead and do that one. Well, look at that. A nice and easy hammer macro. Go ahead and turn in this gold star mission here. And then we'll check our mission log. That should be... Oh, actually we're still missing one more Class C mission. Here it is. 80 durability, 12,000 progress, 600 quality. So progress focused mission. Go ahead and use this one here. With this gold star mission turned in, we will have officially completed all Class C missions. Moving on to B's. Two-step craft will require 2 ingredients. These ingredients have 25 durability. Looks like we're going to be using our #1 progress craft here. Both ingredients are complete. We'll go ahead and see what the combined craft requires. 80 durability, 4,600 progress, and about 9,000-ish quality. We'll go ahead and use quality number 3 here. It'll leave us with a little bit of extra durability to make up the progress difference. Alright, we're just shy on progress, so 1 groundwork to clean that up. We have a veneration buff. Done. Gold star complete. Next B mission requires 20 durability, 2,300 progress, and 8,400 quality. This is a quality focused craft, but has a very strict requirement on durability. We can go ahead and use our 20 durability craft here. It gets us 2,500 progress and 9,000 quality. Another gold star mission complete. Next B-Craft mission. These have the requirements of 70 durability, 3,500 progress, and 10,000 quality. This sounds like a perfect job for our #3 quality craft here. 55 durability, 3,100 progress, and 11,000 quality. Alright, this craft leaves us just shy of the progress that we need to finish it out, but we have plenty of durability available, and all we need is about 500, a little bit less than 500 progress, 1 easy careful synthesis, and we're done. Go ahead and do that 2 more times. And another gold star mission complete. So now we just actually unlocked A rank missions, but we're not quite done with B missions yet. Looks like we've got 3 more to do. We'll try and see if we can snag the rest of those first. Next B rank mission. 60 durability, 3,500 progress, 9,000 quality. I think our quality #3 macro is going to work just fine for this, and we'll add 1 extra careful synthesis at the end to finish out the progress. Another gold star mission complete. Looks like we can grab our next tool upgrade now. Next B rank mission. Its requirements are 80 durability, only 700 progress, but a whopping 12,900 quality. We're going to get our quality focused crafts. We want as much quality as we can get. This looks like it's going to be just fine with 40 durability usage, 600 progress, and 13,000 quality. This will fulfill all the quality requirements, and we may be 1 button short of completing the progress we need, but this will get us 99% of the way there. And there we go. 1 progress step short, and it's complete. Only 2 crafts required for that mission. Gold star complete. We have one last B mission to do, but it just disappeared from our list. So let's go ahead and see if we have any, if we're behind on any of our research categories here. Looks like we need to be getting a lot more tier 3 research. So we'll go ahead and do a filler tier 3 mission. There we go. I repeated some B-class missions until this one showed up. Its requirements are 80 durability, 4,600 progress, 9,000 quality. So we can go ahead and use this one, and we'd just be a little bit short on progress. Probably the safest option. Smash groundwork. Man, if only we could have 16 action macros, that would be perfect. And that completes our last B rank mission with a gold star. Alright, from here on out, it's all A rank missions. Now, a word about the A rank missions. These you need to use food and tisanes for, specifically cunning. Cunning craftsman's tisane, because it adds extra CP, plus 27. And we're going to be using Runique steak. I haven't tried the other food that gives you craftsmanship and CP, but we're going to be just using Runique steak because it's easy to make, easy to get a hold of. I had a whole bunch of the ingredients for it. We're going to go ahead and pop one of those. Now this will drastically increase the amount of CP we have available, and that will be mandatory for a lot of these crafts. These crafts are no joke compared to the Class B missions. If you just want to get them done for the progress for the tool, you know, doing your research and stuff, it doesn't matter so much that you gold rank them, but we're trying to gold star each one of these missions. So these have very demanding macro requirements. So similar to how we select macros for all the other missions, I'm going to go ahead and look at one of these. This one is an expert. So in order to craft this, we're going to look at what kind of requirements it has. This one is 80 durability, 9,000 progress, and 23,000 quality. So this is one of the several, there's a couple, there's like 3 of them. There's 3 expert crafts that they have in these Class A missions. This one I recommend doing manually, so we'll go ahead and walk through that in this case. We got a silver star on it. We'll do it again later. Alright, we'll pick a different one here. Hopefully we get one that's non-expert. Let's see what the requirements for this one are. We got 65 durability, 7,800 progress, 14,900 quality. We'll consult our macros, and since we have them all sorted by their durability availability, durability 65, we go to the 65 category. Look at that. We have a macro that is perfect. Go ahead and initialize that. And we'll do step 2. Completed. High quality craft, 1,000 score. I'm just going to do 2 more of those. Now, one thing to know about this macro in particular, the 65 durability, I spent several hours trying to develop a custom macro to solve these requirements for 7,800 progress and 14,900 quality. I could not do it. Like, usually I can kind of suss out almost all these macros I've made myself, and I can usually suss out like the right way to do a macro, kind of, you know, figure it out eventually after playing around with it. But this one in particular, 65 durability, is a really rough quantity of durability to work with, and I had to Raphael this rotation. This one was impossible for me to figure out on my own. But that is a gold star complete. All right, next craft, a Class A. This is not an expert craft. Let's see what the requirements are. 40 durability, 6,600 progress, 12,300 quality. Let's go ahead and consult our macros. At 40 durability, we have 7,200 progress, 12,700 quality. That's exactly what we need. All right, gold star complete. Next Class A mission. This one is also a expert craft. We need to make one of these. Let's check the requirements. 60 durability, 400 progress, and 21,000 quality. Now, thankfully, I believe we have a macro that works just fine for this. Even though it is an expert craft, we can use our 60 durability, 400 progress, 21,000 quality. Now the thing with expert crafts is that because of the advantage the random procs give you in terms of saving things like CP and durability, you can afford to give the player a larger requirement of progress and quality that would otherwise be reasonable to complete with the standard, gear and the substats they have and the amount of durability available to do that craft. But thankfully, that only applies for 2 of their expert crafts for these Class A missions. The other expert crafts are doable even with macros. And obviously having pentamelted gear certainly doesn't hurt. That gold stars that mission. Next Class A mission. This one is a one where you have to gather and craft first. So we'll go ahead and do that one later. All right, our next Class A mission, nice standard craft. We require a quantity of 3 of these. And before we start synthesizing, always make sure that you have Craftsman's Tisane and food running. I may have forgotten when I tried to do the last mission. I realized as soon as I started crafting, I was like, uh-oh, I'm not gonna be able to finish this. Go next. All right, this one is 80 durability, 23,400 progress, 700 quality. Let's go to our 80 durability crafts. This one is the correct one to use for that. Go ahead and do that 2 more times. Gold star for another Class A mission. Looks like we can grab the next step of our tool now. Alright, this looks like a nice typical craft. Make sure that we have Tisane, make sure that we have food. Its requirements are a 20 durability craft, 2,500 progress, 11,300 quality. Let's go ahead and grab our A rank 20 durability craft here. Alright, another gold star craft complete, and I really appreciate that one only requires 2 items to be crafted. Alright, next A rank, got 80 durability, 8,500 progress, 14,000 quality. I'm going to go ahead and grab our appropriate tier, or appropriate 80 durability A rank macro. This is definitely one of the more unconventional macros that I've ever made. As you can see, it starts initially with progress and then fills quality before going back and finishing off progress. Typically I do my macros quality first and then progress, but I remember when I was making this one, I was playing with a number of different ways of doing it, and doing progress first allowed me to be a little more aggressive with the number of groundwork usages that I did here. So I just wound up that I ended up settling on a macro design first that that worked, and that happened to do progress initially first instead of quality. So I just went with it. It is not optimized at all. I'm sure Raphael would be incredibly disappointed with my work here, but it works. It gets the gold star, and that's what matters. Next Class A mission. Oh, this is the gathering one again. Where is this? Where do you need to gather for this one? Let's just see if we can get this done in time, even though I totally forgot that I was supposed to go out here and be ready for this. I don't know how many of these. I think it's like 29 I'm supposed to get. Oh, actually it's not. Yeah, so 9 times 3 crafts means I need 27 of them. Look at that. Easy, 27. 8 minutes is plenty of time to do these crafts. 75 durability. Yep, that's the right macro for the job. There we go. What was I even worried about? We completed that with plenty of extra time. Another gold star requirement complete. I think this was an expert craft. Let's double check. It is. But the good news about this one, thankfully, is that macros also work for this expert craft. It's got 70 durability. We don't have a 70 durability, but we do have 65, and this happens to be the correct macro for this mission. It's going to give us 7,800 progress and 15,100 quality, which is just right for doing this, even though it's an expert craft. Alright, even though that was an expert craft, we have gotten a gold star with a macro. How are we doing on our list of A-class missions? So, I'll tell you right now, this one, I think it's this one right here, it's missing from like every single job, so we're really just missing 2 missions that we haven't tried yet. But for the meantime, what I'm going to do while I wait for these to show up in the mission selection list is I'm going to spam some B ranks and get us to our next tool level. We're very close. Alright, it only took 1 mission, and we got our next step for the tool. We're now up to level 90, and I believe that unlocks tier 4 research. Perfect. We're going to get a lot of that with doing these Class A missions. And we have some new Class A missions available to do. Okay, yeah, this is an expert craft. Alright, well let's just go ahead and do it. Let's get it over with. I like to see that. Client proc is good. Client proc now is probably best spent on this, this, Nice. Honestly, I love the expert missions. I think they're the ones that cause you to spend the most effort of your brain engaging with doing the actual crafting process. So those experts are great, but they are not as convenient as being able to press a macro. We need to spam a couple A's, get our tier 4 research up for the next tool level. So we'll go ahead and do that with the magic of editing. Alright, the expert craft that I only silver starred earlier is shown back up in my list, so we're going to go ahead and take another crack at this one. This is one that you definitely will not be able to macro. Again, we're just gonna try and chat it out with these procs. Wow. It's not going so well. Viable? Oh, that's what we like to see. We're still 7,000 short. Yes. All right. Let's go. Immaculate Mend. We really want the CP from this. Here we go. Oh my goodness. There we go. Okay. Oh. We do this. All right. Let's hope for some Chad rapid synthesis procs. Oh my god, we got lucky. That went great. All right. Damn. Where's that last mission? Come on. It's one of these two, because one of them doesn't show up. So, all right. Well, oh, we got our next tool. I was gonna say back to the research grind, but we actually just finished that. Now we're back to the research grind, and if we missing Class A mission shows up, I'll let you know. All right, we are back. I took quite a long break. Took a break from the game for a while. It's been a couple hours, but I came back. I went ahead and did the rest of the research that I needed to go ahead and max out these. Got myself ready for the final tool upgrade here, and while doing those, kept doing missions until this one showed up. The Aquaculture Feed 1, which is the final mission of my log here. It's been a while since I had food in pots, so I'm going to re-engage those. I forget if this one is, it looks like it's... Oh yeah, no, it's normal. This is macroable for sure. Oh no, it's not. Okay, yeah, so this one is probably the hardest mission of them all. It looks like it's supposed to be a macroable mission. 16,000, but 9,000 progress. There might be a way to macro this, but see, 35 durability is like really, really rough to do. So we're just going to treat this as a expert and go ahead and do it manually. So let's go ahead and, you know what? We need a lot of progress. So we'll start with muscle memory. All right, that's all she wrote. Could not get it to maximum. Well, at least we can turn in a completion of the mission, even though we aren't able. We'll try it again and try and manual another expert. There we go. We found it again. Excellent. Let's go ahead and give this another shot. Let's try quality this time. So we need that. Let's go ahead and click that. This. Oh, pliant proc. Perfect. Let's go ahead and spend one preparatory touch first before we go ahead and innovation and do 1, 2, 3 preparatory touch. And then we can go ahead and do... Well, we want to use up this malleable proc. And a centered. Please give me this. Yes, thank you, thank you. 3-1 maybe? Okay, cool. So now we're going to go ahead. Now that we've locked in 10, we can burn the rest, most of the rest of our CP here on Trained Finesse. We should keep one of these running. Good. Yes, we'll go ahead and take free CP from that. Primed. Yep, perfect for innovation. Trained Finesse. Trained Finesse. We want to get about to 11,000. Hardcore burning all of our CP here. Perfect. Perfect. Pliant to cut that cost down. Rigo's Blessing should max us out. Oh my god, and we get a free cheap refresh. We need about 30. So we'll go ahead and do Master's Mend here. That's so nice to be able to save all of that. Alright, so here's the question. Can we... Oh, I guess I should have used that centered proc. Oh, yes, if we can. Groundwork would be super nice while we have Trained Perfection. Primed, we don't need that at the moment, so we're just gonna hope to get lucky here. Yes. Oh my goodness. I forgot that we should be keeping this rolling. Centered? Oh no. This is not good. Let's do nothing for a step. Hopefully we can get a... Yes, thank you. This is a very precarious position to be in. We need some... Oh, thank goodness. Perfect. That's what we were fishing for. Another Veneration. Malleable, thank you, thank you. We need that. Let's go ahead and Careful Synthesis. We're almost there. I think we can do it with 2 of these. 1. Hey, we did it. There we go. Yeah, expert crafts will keep you on your toes. That's why I think they're the most fun. So, we are officially finished with all of the A ranks that we can do here. Now, time-based missions, whoops, let's go back here. Provisional missions, these are also technically A rank, but these are chained ones, and I might do a video on that in the future. I gotta look into like all the right conditions to get all the chained ones, you know, which all missions chain, which ones are time-based, which ones are weather-based. It's gonna take a long time for me to get through all those, so I didn't want to put those into this video. This video is mostly just focusing on everything you're gonna be dealing with here and how to efficiently get your tool to max level. So, let's go ahead and turn in that last bit of research. Yes, 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 report the research. Cosmic Frying Pan. This will make some cosmic eggs. Gotta enjoy our cutscene here. Little nod. Hell yeah. With your help, the N8 culinary data is now complete. Oh right, and be sure to try out your newly enhanced cosmic tool. And that completes the full collection of cosmic tools. Put this one over here. There we go. Check our research. Voila. Everything is 9. Well, thank you so much for watching this with me. Hopefully this helps you get your cosmic tools upgraded as well, or at least gold rank all of the missions that you needed to get done without losing your mind, because some of these, if you try and manual all of these, I was doing that for the first couple of tools that I was upgrading, and oh boy, it is rough to try and do them all by hand for a while. So eventually, when I started putting macros together for these, it made it a lot simpler to just get through these when I needed to particular tier 4 research. I would just look at this and be like, oh, this is this macro, all right, use that macro, instead of sitting there sweating out the rotation each time. So hopefully that helps for you. Cosmic Exploration has been a fantastic little piece of content that I have certainly enjoyed so far. I hear that there's supposed to be a whole lot more steps to upgrading the base. Behemoth right now that I'm on is only at step 6, but some of the other servers are definitely, I think like Cactar is like way ahead of everyone at the moment. So I'm excited to see how this evolves further. And actually, what I'm most interested in for sure is once we're done with this moon base, the future patches that will introduce the development of other stars. I'm really excited to see what we do for that. That's kind of like what I've been in it for this whole time. So building the moon base and everything is cool and stuff for now, but I'm excited to see what we're going to do on other planets. My understanding is I think that we're supposed to be helping them recover from the effects of the final days, so we're helping to restore and develop the life and ecology that are on those planets, and that sounds like a really cool mission to be doing. And obviously with the research that we have right now, these are all being referred to as novice level data analysis, so I have to imagine that these tools are going to get only upgraded even further and further from where we are now as we get to, you know, various intermediate and advanced versions of data analysis, and we might see some crazy number upgrades for the research speed. So that's why I'm really glad that I kind of got all these tools done now, because it will hopefully give a good basis for any future content that they add for this to help grind that future content. But that's all I have for you now, and I wish you luck in your cosmic exploration, leveling, and grinding adventures. Take care.